The Elephant and the Hare, a story of strength versus cleverness. In a lush, vibrant forest filled with towering trees and blooming flowers, there lived an immense elephant named Jabari. Jabari was known far and wide for his incredible strength. He could uproot trees with ease, move boulders, and even create rivers with his powerful tusks. His imposing presence commanded respect from all the animals in the forest. One sunny day, as Jabari was enjoying a refreshing drink at the riverbank, he overheard a group of animals chattering excitedly. They were speaking of a hare named Tunde, who was famed for his cleverness and quick thinking. Jabari's curiosity piqued, and he decided to approach the group. "What is all this commotion about?" Jabari asked, his deep voice rumbling like thunder. The animals turned to him, eyes wide with admiration. "Jabari. We were just talking about Tunde the hare. He has outsmarted everyone in the forest with his quick wit and cunning tricks." Jabari chuckled, shaking his massive head. "A hare, clever as he may be, cannot compare to my strength. Strength is what wins battles and competitions, not cleverness." Just then, Tunde hopped into view, his fur shining in the sunlight. He stopped short when he saw Jabari. "Ah, the mighty Jabari. What brings you here?" Tunde asked with a twinkle in his eye. "I heard tales of your cleverness, Tunde," Jabari said, his voice booming. "But I wonder, would you dare to challenge me to a series of contests? Let us see if your wits can outmatch my strength." The forest fell silent as the challenge hung in the air. Tunde looked around, sensing the anticipation of the gathered animals. He could see the determination in Jabari's eyes. "Very well, Jabari," Tunde replied, a smile spreading across his face. "Let the contest begin." The first contest was to be a race, a challenge of speed. Jabari and Tunde agreed to run from the great baobab tree to the riverbank. The animals gathered to watch, excited for the spectacle. As the sun reached its zenith, the two competitors lined up. Jabari took his place, his large frame casting a long shadow, while Tunde stood at the starting line, twitching his nose in anticipation. "On your mark, get set, go," shouted a parrot perched in a nearby tree. With that, Jabari charged ahead, his enormous legs pounding the ground, creating a thunderous noise. Tunde, however, quickly darted into the bushes, using his speed and agility to maneuver through the underbrush. Jabari quickly reached the halfway point, and feeling confident, he slowed down to catch his breath. "How can a tiny hare compete with my strength?" he thought, chuckling to himself. Meanwhile, Tunde was carefully planning his next move. He noticed a steep hill that led directly to the riverbank. "If I can reach the top of the hill, I can leap straight to the finish line," he thought. Tunde scurried up the hill with great speed, while Jabari rested under the shade of a tree, still convinced of his impending victory. As Tunde reached the top, he took a moment to gather his strength before launching himself off the hill. With one mighty leap, Tunde soared through the air, landing right at the riverbank just seconds before Jabari made his way over. The crowd erupted in cheers. "I may be small, but my cleverness has won the day," Tunde exclaimed, panting but joyful. Jabari shook his head in disbelief. "I underestimated you, Tunde." "Well played." Not one to be easily discouraged, Jabari suggested their next contest would showcase strength. "Let us see who can lift the heaviest boulder," he proposed, his pride unshaken. The animals led them to a pile of enormous rocks at the foot of a mountain. Jabari effortlessly lifted a massive boulder and held it over his head, grinning widely. Tunde watched with a thoughtful expression. He knew he could never lift such a weight, but he wasn't about to give up. "Jabari, while you may be stronger, I have a different plan. Let's see who can move a boulder to the top of the hill the fastest," he challenged. Jabari's eyes sparkled with excitement. You think you can move a boulder faster than I can lift it? He asked, laughing. Just watch me, Tunde replied confidently. The animals gathered around as they prepared for the contest. Jabari selected a gigantic boulder and placed it on his back, straining but not faltering. Tunde, on the other hand, chose a smaller rock that was still hefty but manageable for him. With a shout, they began the contest. Jabari stomped up the hill with all his might, but Tunde quickly had a different plan. Instead of carrying his rock, he rolled it down a slope, letting gravity do the work. Jabari, focused on lifting his boulder, was unaware that Tunde was rapidly gaining ground. As Jabari neared the top, he heard a commotion behind him. He turned to see Tunde's boulder rolling past him, gaining speed. In a flurry, Tunde jumped up and down in joy as he reached the top first. "Ha! My cleverness has triumphed again," he shouted, panting but jubilant. Jabari finally set down his boulder and sighed, realizing he had been outsmarted once more. "Well done, Tunde. Your cleverness is unmatched." The third and final contest was to be a puzzle, a test of wits and wisdom. The wise old tortoise named Babu was called upon to create a challenging riddle for the two competitors. Gathering the animals around, Babu began. "This riddle will determine who is truly the victor. Listen carefully. What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and you can enter but cannot go outside?" Tunde's ears perked up, and Jabari's brow furrowed as they pondered the riddle. Tunde thought of all the things he knew and began to visualize possibilities. Meanwhile, Jabari scratched his head, feeling the pressure of the challenge. After a few moments of silence, Tunde suddenly exclaimed, "A piano. It has keys, space for notes, and you can enter music but can't physically go outside." The animals erupted into cheers, and Jabari lowered his head, impressed. "Once again, you have proven your cleverness, Tunde." With the contest complete, Jabari and Tunde gathered all the animals to share the lessons they had learned. Jabari stood tall, addressing the crowd. "I have realized that strength alone does not determine victory. Cleverness and wit can often triumph over sheer power." Tunde nodded in agreement. "And I have learned that while cleverness is essential, sometimes strength and determination are just as valuable. Both qualities are important in our own ways." The animals cheered, acknowledging the bond that had formed between the two competitors. From that day forward, Jabari and Tunde became great friends. They worked together to protect the forest and its inhabitants, combining their strengths and wits to solve problems and help those in need. As time passed, the tale of the elephant and the hare spread throughout the land, teaching others the importance of balance between strength and cleverness. They became symbols of friendship, working together to bring harmony to their world. In their adventures, Jabari and Tunde found that they could achieve greater things together than they could apart. They tackled challenges as a team, encouraging the other animals to embrace their own unique strengths and talents. The forest flourished, filled with laughter and joy. Animals of all sizes learned from Jabari and Tunde that no one quality was superior to another. And so, the story of the elephant and the hare became a cherished folktale passed down through generations. It reminded everyone that true victory lies not in one's own strengths or weaknesses but in the friendships we build and the lessons we learn along the way. To your opinion, what is the moral lesson you pick from this folktale? Please comment in the comment section below. And please subscribe for more and share.